All right, people, we are back in from the break here on the #1 forum for Crimson Tide football. News, notes, analysis, commentary, entertainment. That being in my own words with yours truly, your man, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. This is game week, starting that week off correctly. Crimson Tide playing Missouri in Columbia, Missouri on this weekend. Now, before we get into the final topic of conversation, got to remind you of this. You are a die-hard Alabama fan, die-hard Tide fan. You love the Crimson Tide. You eat it, you breathe it, you sleep in it, you shop in it, you go to church in it, you're driving with it. You enjoy the Tide football program. You love the coaching staff, the students, the student athletes, all of it. Got to get you to go to tdawear.com. That is tdawear.com, where you can pick up, purchase you all of your apparel, whether it's t-shirts, whether it's hoodies, the We Want Football shirts, the Let Them Play shirts, whatever you want Alabama affiliated, we got you covered here. tdawear.com. Continue showing that support for the University of Alabama, the student athletes, the coaching staff, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. So check out that site right there, tdawear.com. But we get to the Alabama secondary. The only loss for the Missouri game, the only injury Alabama has right now for Missouri just so happens to be junior college transfer Ronald Williams Jr., the young man from Louisiana, came over from Hutchinson Community College in the state of Kansas. He fractured his arm during the final week of fall camp, will not play against Missouri, could be out to at least 4 weeks here, but he will not play against the Tigers. Coach Saban confirmed this in his presser on today. Ronald Williams Jr. suffering that fractured arm there. So with him out and Williams being a guy at 6'2", 190 pounds, Pete Golding talked about how he has the size, the length, the athleticism, the top-end speed to be a starter in this league at the cornerback position. But with him out, the question becomes, who's got to step up here for Alabama? Who do you want to see rise in the secondary here for the Crimson Tide? And I got a list right here of a couple of names that I want to see step up here. So the first one on this list is Josh Jobe. Obviously, it's Josh Jobe. And Jobe, the junior from Miami, Florida, played his high school ball in Connecticut, came into the 2018 class with Jalen Armour-Davis and Patrick Surtain II. Jobe has the size, he's got the length, he's got the athleticism, he's got the passion, he's got the energy. He loves to jam at the line of scrimmage and really get into receivers and be physical. But the one thing Coach Saban has said that he has greatly improved on, Jobe has learned to play with emotion, but channel his emotions into not being overly emotional, right? He's not allowing his passion to bleed so much into his game where he's getting called for defensive holding and defensive pass interference. So he's gotten a lot better and being more sound with his technique. So he will start at that left corner position opposite Patrick Surtain. So this season, this game against Mizzou, I want to see Josh Jobe really put this thing all together in terms of shutting down receivers, tackling well, playing the football, being physical but not too physical, just being a full package corner, being a full package outside island defensive back. Now, he ended the season well last season with getting the interception against Michigan in the Citrus Bowl, but Josh Jobe would be my guy. But I'm targeting young man, your time. Got to step up now, my dude. Got to step up here for Josh Jobe. Another guy, Marcus Banks. I want to see Marcus Banks really take that next step forward. I mean, he's behind Jobe at that left corner spot, had a tremendous fall camp, really played well. Coach Saban talked about how he has tremendously improved. Now, Alabama signed 2 corners from Texas. Everybody remembers Scooby Carter, but Alabama also signed Marcus Banks from Houston, Texas. Now, if Scooby Carter would have stuck around and not went to the transfer portal, Scooby would be playing this year, but hey, that's besides the point. Marcus Banks had a great camp, great fall practice, has made significant amount of improvement. Looking forward to seeing Banks step up. Behind him, Jalen Armour-Davis. It is time for the pride of Mobile, St. Paul's Episcopal High School to do his thing. When he came in, great length, great athleticism, great ball skills. Saban was giddy with glee when he came in 2018, just came in with an injury. Now he's back healthy. Now he is the primary backup behind Surtain at right corner. So Jalen Armour-Davis will get an opportunity to get on the field this season. Really want to see him step up and do some big things. And then last but not least here, you've got Brandon Turnage, of whom Turnage out of Mississippi, he came into the 2019 class as a 4-star. Honestly, I thought Alabama was going to have Turnage exclusively at safety, but that is not the case right now. He's actually the 3rd-string corner for the Crimson Tide behind Jobe and Marcus Banks. So Alabama even looking at a guy like Brandon Turnage getting the shot there at corner. So the big thing here is, since 2016, right, Saban has been stockpiling bodies in the secondary. He's a former defensive back himself. So he's been stockpiling bodies in the defensive backfield since 2016. 2017, 18, 19, 2020 recruiting classes, we have seen where the defensive backs have grown. We've looked at these recruiting, we've looked at these final classes coming in, and we go, well, Saban signed this many defensive backs. He signed that many DBs. Woo, Lord, that many DBs and came in. Saban continues to stockpile the talent at that position just due to the amount of guys he loses to the NFL draft and then the amount of guys he could lose to the transfer portal. Alabama lost 4 guys to the NFL after the 2019 season. When you look at Trayvon Diggs, Xavier McKinney, Shaheem Carter, and also Jared Maiden. Now, me personally, as much as I applaud Xavier McKinney for going pro, as much as I applaud him for doing that, if X McKinney would have stayed at Alabama, this secondary would be clamped shut down right now if X would have chosen to stay one more year at Alabama. Because if he would have stayed, you're looking at Jordan Battle as a safety, you're looking at Daniel Wright as a safety, and you're looking at Xavier McKinney at the money spot. You were not going to mess with X at the money spot, bro. No. So would have loved to have seen McKinney stick around here for the Crimson Tide in that secondary, but I understand you got to do what you got to do. You got to provide for your family, and when you're being looked at as a 1st-round draft value, you got to take that shot, although McKinney got drafted in the early part of the 2nd round back in April to the New York Giants. I understand why he made the move that he made. But with the injury to Williams, you're looking at just a number of different guys that have to step up, that have to play well, that have to dominate in the secondary. The 4 guys that I mentioned there, Josh Jobe, Marcus Banks, Jalen Armour-Davis, and Brandon Turnage. Looking forward to seeing what all 4 of those guys can do. Looking forward to seeing what Malachi Moore can do. I mean, once again, the guy was kind of overlooked. The guy was kind of not talked about a lot when he came in to this 2020 class. A lot of people spoke on Brian Branch. A lot of people spoke on Christian Story. You had guys that were giving Jaquez Robinson a lot of love at 6'2", 190 to 195 pounds there. So Malachi was not given a lot of the, respect, if you will, when he signed that dotted line, that letter of intent to come to Alabama from Hewitt-Trussville High School. But the young man stepped up. He has stepped up. He had a tremendous camp, really played well in both scrimmages. Coach Saban sees him as a guy that can 100% play winning football, and him starting in that spot that made Minkah Fitzpatrick a superstar in 2015. But this is going to be fun. Can he defend the slot receiver? Can he take away some of the more instinctive guys that play that slot position in the SEC and in college football? Does he have the instincts to lock up, guys, lock up receivers in that spot, take them out of their element, jump routes, make plays? From seeing him in high school, Moore has always been a strong tackler. Moore has always been somebody that breaks down and makes the fundamentally sound play. If you go back and watch one of the practices from fall camp, the young man put a big hit on Thaiu Jones-Bell, and he was not even supposed to be hitting Thaiu Jones-Bell. It was supposed to be two-hand touching the young man, but Malachi Moore said, let me make this impact right now. Two-hand touch what? two-hand touch my foot. I'm finna hit this dude. And he went up there and kind of laid a little thump there to Thaiu Jones-Bell. But seeing this happen, he's showing Coach Saban that he's ready right now. He can play the game right now. He's got the intangibles right now. He's got the instincts right now. And it just speaks to the hard work that he has shown throughout fall camp, as now Alabama in game week preparing for Missouri. So excited about the secondary. Looking forward to seeing how many turnovers can this group create. How many sacks can it get? How many interceptions can it get? How many pass breakups? How many forced fumbles? Just how many big negative plays will be created by the secondary under coaches Carl Scott working with the corners, Charles Kelly working with the safeties, and as always, Nick Saban hovering around, everybody, seeing that he was a specialist in the defensive backfield himself. Got a couple of super chats here to shout out now as we are speaking here. Gotta show that love here to Jimmy Clay, a new donator here. Jimmy Clay throwing in that $1.99 via the super chats. Appreciate the love there from Jimmy Clay. Kevin Compton again, that $4.99 via the super chats. Appreciating the big love shown today by our own Kevin Compton. Jimmy Clay comes back with $5 there in the super chats. Jimmy Clay again with another $1.99 in the super chats. Jimmy Clay doing his thing here even as a new donor. And Randy Harris, another new donor. Randy Harris dropping in that $1.99 via the super chat. So appreciate the love there from Jimmy Clay, from Kevin Compton, and Randy Harris showing us the love here on TDA via the super chats there. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage here on your Crimson Tide. It's very simple and easy to get this. You can access it by downloading the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You can get this from the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store, if you got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we have you covered here on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. We have you covered. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I shall return on Wednesday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Be reminded, Bama Nation, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. Link will be found in the description. But until next time, folks, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, school is in. Do those things legitimately now to not be bored. Be sure to get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, it's been in my own words. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.